Hello, this is Ugo Uche with Road to Resolutions. In this video, I'm going to be following up on a video I published last week, in which I spoke about the correlation between spanking and low IQ. And in short, what I argued was that parents who hit their children, when children are hit, it impairs their cognition and subsequently it lowers their IQ. I also wrote a blog post on this, which I published on Psychology Today, and I'm actually going to put the link for that in the description box below. Okay, so a number of people between Psychology Today, YouTube, and Google Plus asked a common question in which they claimed to have high IQs, and they wondered why they had high IQs even though their parents had flogged them severely as children. Well, the first thing I'll say to that is this. The brain is neuroplastic. IQ is not stable over time. Your IQ changes with your experiences. So a child who is in an abusive environment, who lives 24/7 in an abusive environment, is going to spend most of his or her time living in the primitive brain, and so amongst other functions, the primitive brain is most notable for the fight or flight response system. So if you're in an abusive environment, you're usually walking on eggshells, keeping an eye on the abuser. You don't want to take him or her off, and you don't have time to enjoy life, to explore other things, because you don't feel safe. As a result, your ability to learn is hindered and your IQ is significantly lowered. Now you take that child and you put that child in a safe environment. Once that child comes to believe that he or she is truly safe, they start to use more of their cerebral brain, and they start to properly immerse themselves in their daily experiences, and that child will start to thrive, and so therefore their IQ will improve. So if you were flogged as a child and you're saying to yourself, well, I'm a high achiever, blah blah blah, why is that? Well, chances that as an adult you're not being flogged. At least I would hope that you're not being flogged, and your brain healed with your experiences, and I would hope that you're not flogging your children. So the next thing I want to talk about is this: when people use the arbitrary number, they throw about this number of IQ scores, and it surprises me because there are plenty of research in which that have challenged the idea that IQ test measures general intelligence, or the idea that IQ test measures native intelligence. I don't believe it does. In fact, there are studies that I'll put in the description box below, a link to, that show that IQ test only measures academic skills. That's the beginning and end of that. So at the end of the day, taking an IQ test is really a waste of time, unless for some reason you never went to school, because if you want to test your academic skills, well, go to school and let's see how far you can take it. So when people throw me this arbitrary number, like, oh, I have an IQ of 147, I have an IQ of 160, blah, blah, blah. I have this temptation to ask them, okay, what does that mean? What have you accomplished? That is consistent with this high IQ score that you're so proud of. Besides an ego boost, I really don't see any practical value of an IQ test, or subsequently an IQ score. IQ test, there is no IQ test today that measures creativity. There's no IQ test that measures the ability to be pragmatic, to solve problems in real-world settings. So that's a pet peeve I kind of have, because I kind of feel that I see a lot of people who will compensate for their feelings of underachievement with, you know, stating this score, throwing out the score. I'm like, you don't need to throw out a score, just let people know what you've done. Let me see, one more other thing. Is there something else? No. Okay, so thank you for watching the video. My name is Ugo Uche. You can learn more about me at roadtoresolutions.com, and there are going to be some links to an article and a study and my blog post on Psychology Today that will support my arguments. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please press the like button and share with people you think care to watch it. Take care.